My best friend sold our $100 million. Secrets for $20 million. So I caught him red-handed and called the police while he was still downloading our code. I always believed that trust was the most valuable currency in business. It was a principle I built my entire company, Apex Core, upon. We were a tech startup that had cracked the code on predictive logistics software, and our success was skyrocketing. But the greatest threat to my empire wasn't a competitor. It was the man sitting in the office next to mine, my best friend, Jake. And if you think you can always spot the snake in the grass, then this story is a chilling reminder that sometimes the most dangerous threats wear the face of a friend. For more tales of betrayal, justice, and the battles that define us, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Now, let's get back to the story. Jake and I weren't just friends. We were brothers forged in the fire of our college dorm room. We were the classic duo. I was the quiet, relentless coder, and Jake was the charismatic people person who could sell ice to a polar bear. When I started Apex Core, he was my first call. I need you, I told him. I'll build the future, and you can help me show it to the world. He became my vice president of operations, my right-hand man, and the guardian of my deepest professional secrets. For 3 years, we were unstoppable. We celebrated every milestone together. The first $1 million in revenue, the cover of Tech Monthly, the keys to our new downtown high-rise office. I trusted him with everything, my vision, my company, and the encryption key to the black box, the secure server that housed the proprietary code for our flagship algorithm, the Oracle. It was the heart of our company, worth hundreds of millions. The first sign was subtle. A key client, a massive shipping conglomerate, suddenly backed out of a finalized deal. Their reason was vague, pursuing a more aligned technological partnership. A week later, our main rival, Synergy Logistics, launched a new product with features that were eerily, impossibly similar to our own. The industry press called it coincidental innovation. My gut called it a lie. Paranoia became my new shadow. I started auditing access logs, my stomach churning as I looked for a digital traitor. The data pointed nowhere. Only a handful of top-level executives had the clearance, and I trusted them all. I even confided in Jake, my fear a raw nerve. We have a leak, I told him, my voice low in his office. He leaned forward, his face a perfect mask of concern. I've been thinking the same thing. It has to be someone on the engineering team. We need to tighten security, Alex. I'll handle it. I believed him. Of course I believed him. He was Jake. The collapse began on a rainy Thursday. Our stock price was plummeting after Synergy's third major product release, each one a mirror of our own roadmap. The board was screaming for answers I didn't have. I was working late, fueled by desperation and cold coffee, running a final, deep-level diagnostic on our network. That's when I saw it. A remote log into the black box server. It was happening right now. My heart hammered against my ribs as I pulled up the real-time access feed. The login credentials were mine, but I was right here. Someone had stolen my digital key. I watched, frozen, as the user navigated directly to the core directories of the Oracle. They were methodical, downloading entire libraries of source code. With trembling hands, I initiated a security protocol that would lock the system and trigger a silent alarm, pinpointing the physical location of the access terminal. The map on my screen zeroed in, the blinking red dot not coming from a rival's office across the city, but from inside our own building. From the VP suite, Jake's office. The walk down the hallway felt like a march to the gallows. I pushed his door open and it wasn't locked. And there he was, silhouetted by the glow of his monitor, the stolen secrets of my life's work reflected in his glasses. He was so engrossed he didn't hear me enter. "Jake," I said, my voice a hollow echo. He spun around, his face a snapshot of pure, unadulterated panic. The mouse slipped from his hand and clattered onto the desk. "Alex, I was just running a security check, like we talked about," he stammered, his eyes wide. I looked from his guilty face to the screen, where a progress bar showed the transfer of files to an encrypted external drive. "A security check?" I repeated, the words tasting like ash. "You're downloading the Oracle. You're the leak." The mask finally crumbled. His shoulders slumped, and a strange, defeated calm settled over him. "They offered me 20 million, Alex," he whispered, not meeting my eyes. 20 million? What was I supposed to do? Be your loyal, well-paid sidekick forever? The betrayal was a physical blow, sucking the air from my lungs. 20 million pieces of silver for a decade of brotherhood. I didn't yell. I didn't argue. I simply reached for my phone, my movements slow and deliberate, and dialed 911. I never took my eyes off him. "I need to report a corporate espionage and data theft in progress," I said to the dispatcher, my voice eerily steady. "The perpetrator is my vice president, Jake Morrison. He is in front of me now." The sound of my saying his name to the police broke him. "Alex, please!" It was just business. They threatened me, he begged, his lies shifting and collapsing by the second. I just shook my head. No, Jake. What we built together was business. This is just a crime. The police arrived quickly. The evidence was irrefutable. The access logs, the downloaded files on his drive, the encrypted communications with Synergy executives on his personal laptop. I pressed every charge available: grand larceny, computer fraud, theft of trade secrets. The district attorney told me it was one of the most clear-cut cases of corporate betrayal they'd ever seen. The legal reckoning was swift and severe. Jake was convicted and sentenced to federal prison. The lawsuit against Synergy Logistics crippled them with financial penalties and a court order to destroy all stolen IP. I had won. My company was saved, but the personal cost was immeasurable. The victory was bittersweet, a hollow echo in a quiet office. I had to rebuild my leadership team, but more than that, I had to rebuild my ability to trust. The man I considered a brother was gone, replaced by a cautionary tale and a prisoner ID number. I learned a brutal lesson that day. Trust is essential, but verification is your shield. The betrayal taught me to build better safeguards, not just for my code, but for my heart. The company emerged stronger, more resilient, and ultimately more successful than ever. But sometimes, in the quiet of my office, I don't see the billionaire CEO in the reflection. I see a young man in a dorm room, sharing a pizza with his best friend, completely unaware of the expensive price that friendship would one day carry.